Hit the mute. They can hear us now.
They can.
They can hear us now.
I'm gonna.
Coming live, babies.
Babies.
Coming live, baby.
I just want to do a quick sound test on the music to see if it records so quiet for a sec. Yep.
Sounds good in my ears.
And it records.
Very good.
So,
All right, let's do this. Be like old times.
old time.
Let's do this. Well, we've had an announcer, so now I feel like we have to keep it going without Rick.
Yeah. Well, I've got his recordings too, but
Well,
this.
I got this. Okay.
Oh wait.
I'll do cold intro. Cold intro. All right. So tonight, time spent poorly. Eduardo and Derek, that's me, get back together for the first time in like a month ish to talk about New Orleans, which was my honeymoon, and his camping trip, which was a wreck, and our lives, also a wreck, and also Shazam, which was okay. This is Time Spent Poorly. Woo! Or make sure you switch us. Woo! Oh, well, it got peeked out that. Hey, everybody, welcome to the program.
Welcome.
We're back.
That's coming down.
It's just not even a fan.
Not even yeah. No, I'm done.
Just done with it.
Done
Hey,
with
everybody, welcome to the program. Okay, first thing, couple things out of the gate,
Dude,
real
I
quick.
missed you.
I miss you too.
Yeah.
Oh. Couple things out of the gate, though. I want to lead out with this while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
First off, August 7th. That is a Wednesday, August 7th, the year of our Lord and Savior Christ Jesus.
Amen.
Sports program on KLCZ will be back. That's 88.9 if you're in Lewiston. It'll also be back on timespentpoorly.com.
Fun.
.fun. Yeah. Sorry, TSPN.fun. Sports program on KLCZ will be a new-ish program with Alicia Alexander and myself, and we will be covering primarily Lewis Clark State College sports.
Ah.
We'll have different guests, different athletes, different coaches.
So is that going to cross over to TSPN, or are you?
It will. Yep.
Okay.
We'll still throw it on there. Zach is not off the show. He is actually, we will be doing the sports program on TSPN still every Saturday, and we have been doing those, although the episodes will go back on to TSPN.fun. They've just been Facebook exclusives right now, and that's mostly just that's on me.
Due in part to laziness. No, well, not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhat, a little bit.
I take that back. It's been a busy summer.
It has, yeah. I mean, we'll do a show, then I'm like, I need to get this up, and then...
and it's hard to do.
Like, it is.
You got to find the time.
And I have them all, so I'll probably do them all at one time.
Right.
To get caught up. But yeah, so the sports program on TSPN will be a different program than the sports program on KLCZ. You'll notice a huge difference in both of those. Zach might still call in for some of the Wednesday shows, but he's in Boise and he's working a ton. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing. He's just, the guy's busy. He's got a big boy job. He still works with me every Saturday or Sunday to do a show. We get it out there. They will be back on the internet though, on the website though. We did have one that was a really special episode with him and Sean Walters, who does a beer tasting show on Twitch TV.
Oh, nice.
And I released that in just raw. I was gonna edit it, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just off the rails. So if you go on to tspn.fun, look up sports program. Excuse me, it's just called Off the Rails. And this episode we started drinking
haven't
at
heard this one,
noon.
so I
We
might
finally
have to-
recorded by 2. It was a rough episode. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, but we were all just
Off the rails.
yeah. And then we drank so much. So anyway, so that's coming, and then also real quick, I'll mention Dusty Katzenberger and I are still working on the logistics for a wrestling podcast.
Yeah. Well, and you and Wyatt are working on
And we were working on some Let's
transitioning
Play ideas.
to Let's
So,
Play from
There's stuff coming.
Stranger Show.
I just want to get that out of the way. That's what's coming. It's going to be huge. But that's it. That's it from my end. That's how summer's been. I got married.
Your wedding. It was a good wedding.
You were? It was
fun.
a fun wedding. It was a good wedding.
Yeah.
I feel like if I wasn't in the wedding, as the person getting married, it probably still would have been a fun wedding. I don't like
You
going
were
to a lot
having
of
fun.
weddings. I was having a blast. I don't like going to a ton of weddings.
Your wedding is the first wedding I've been to in many years.
Many years.
I can't even. I'm trying to think. I think the last
I have
one I was
two
at was
coming up this year.
My sister's.
I have 2 coming up this year that we have to go to, which will be fun. One of them is my cousin. One of them is a friend of Bree's. Not to say that she's not my friend, but she's not. But I'm just kidding. You're great. If you listen to this ever, you're great. You're just not my friend. But that's coming up, and then next year I'm actually in a wedding for my friend Tom, who is a close friend of mine. I'm actually in his wedding as a groomsman. Can't wait. That should be a blast.
Yeah.
And they were at my wedding too. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. It was a good time. I had family there, and I even had a lot of work coworkers there, and even that was okay. So yeah, it was a good time. It was fun.
Nice.
And New Orleans was great. New Orleans was awesome. I don't recommend going on your honeymoon to another state the Monday after you got married on a Saturday. I don't recommend that to people. That's a lot of pressure. Have your shit packed, ready to go.
So what happened? Tell me what.
I mean, we got home on Saturday. We got married on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I was hungover Sunday. We went
Oh,
home.
and you had to leave on Monday. I got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
So we got home Sunday. I had to wash laundry and finish packing because I had already done some packing for the trip.
Right.
Got home, washed the rest of the laundry that I wanted, packed the stuff I needed, left Monday morning bright and early to go up to Spokane to fly out. I was hungover driving up to Spokane still. Still felt like crap. I got very drunk at my wedding, friends. So we drove up to Spokane.
I got very drunk the day of your wedding.
Man.
I had beer before your wedding, beer at your wedding, and beer after your wedding.
Man, it was rough. That was a rough flight over there.
I bet.
I actually felt sick, like my muscles hurt, and I felt sick. So I'm like, am I going to be sick for this whole trip? And I was like, nah, I'm sure I'm still just hungover. I was. Because when we got to New Orleans finally, I felt fine. And we had a great week. A lot of drinking on Bourbon Street.
Now, was this a trip that you've been looking for? Like you
So
wanted to do?
Yeah, we wanted to go, but we didn't know we were going there. So we knew that when we first started dating, we both wanted to go to New Orleans because the food.
Okay.
That's it. Like literally, like I want to go to New Orleans because I want that food. And someone purchased us this honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah, I
got
remember
our
hearing about this
airfare and our hotel, which our hotel was
Which
like
is
an
amazing.
old, like I think an old mansion, which was very cool. We never would have went. I mean, if we can afford that.
Right.
Boy, it was a blast. It was so fun. So we wanted to go, and they knew and got us this trip, and we went.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. First trip we ever went on together that was that big. So that was interesting. We never fought, though, while we were there. The only thing we ever argued about was tipping. She likes to tip way too much, and I feel like that's dumb.
Okay, so what's her percentage? What's way too much?
Well, I don't know. I just feel like we were tipping more than what I would.
Yeah.
You know, if you have $100, you're giving them $20 after that. It's like, that's $120.
I know it's 20% though. I know.
10.
I
10%.
I feel like your percent
Well, I would have been fine with it, except for it was like, write it in.
right.
Like I take out what the argument was is I would take out cash for the day.
Right.
Then we'd go eat, and then we would pay for dinner with a card. And then it's like, no, give them cash for the tip. And I'm like, but I took out cash to go do things. Like, you're going out, you're taking from the cash that I would use to go do things to tip this person. Can't we just write it in? Just write in the thing. Zach, you bet. Zach Swan was at the wedding. That was a lovely time. I miss you dearly, Zach. I always do. I just saw him a couple weeks ago, but I still just miss him dearly. So that show, that sports program that we did was Sean here. Zach was in town too. That was an in-person show. So it was a lot of fun.
I bet.
Sean never comes to Lewiston. Ever. And he was here. It was great.
Nice.
Man, it was the honeymoon was awesome though. My highlight that she surprised me with completely is she got us a steamboat cruise where she got us like VIP tickets for.
Nice.
And I didn't know. Actually, and Bree did this, my wife. My wife, which is a weird thing to say out loud. She got us VIP tickets for the steamboat cruise where they like our drinks were on the thing the whole night. So, like, whatever we paid for the VIP things, like, they just kept bringing us drinks.
Oh, so it was just drink until your heart's content.
And my heart did contend it. Anyway, a lot of fun. Zach's watching the show right now. Zach, I gotta say, you looked very debonair at the wedding.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't get to talk to Zach.
This guy could wear a goddamn t-shirt and look like he's in dress attire.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just been wearing.
He wore like this button-up shirt though.
Yeah,
the reason why I know.
Did he have the vest?
Well, he had a button-up shirt. I don't know. I always revert back to the picture that I take with him.
I'm picturing him in a vest, and maybe he didn't even have a vest on.
So far, that's because that's all you can see him as. He's wearing a vest all the time. It's a mental vest. So I'm 2 for 2 now of 2 weddings having photos with Zach at 2 weddings, one of them being mine and one of them being another friend's, where I am holding him from behind like I'm his prom date. So I think Zach and I are going to recreate that photo at every wedding I ever go to with him from now on. That's going to be a thing that happens.
That should.
It was a great time. Got a good photo with you and Nicole. Still haven't seen a lot of the actual wedding photos that were professionally taken. We haven't seen them yet. So
I liked your. I thought the Polaroid theme was cool.
I like the Polaroid thing. I've seen stuff here and there from phones. A lot of people took great photos on their phones, but I still haven't seen the professional photos yet. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, married man now. Sorry, ladies.
This guy's taken.
Crickets. Good times. You went camping.
Oh yes. I've actually been doing a lot of camping.
You
off
have
and
been.
on. Like prior to that week, we came back and gave our Rushmore, and then after that, we had the 4th of July, and then I went on a. Zach says I got to get married so we can do that at my wedding.
I'll just pick someone. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Zach, you mark my words.
Hurry. Set the date now.
You mark my words, Zach.
the
At
what?
your future wedding, that photo will happen. I want to recreate it every photo I go to with you at. So I hope we have like 10 more mutual friends get married so that we can go to that wedding and recreate that photo. Then we'll make an album.
Of just that photo.
We should do. We need. Okay, we have 2. We need 10 more. 1 for every month. We'll sell it as a calendar. That'll be the new sports program calendar, where I'm holding him lovingly from behind. I should have gave you the photo.
You need to start having like life touch backgrounds.
I should have gave you the photo prior to doing the show. That way you could throw it up on so that people can see it.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Is it on Facebook somewhere?
Boy, I don't know. No, probably not. Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. Great photo though.
Yeah.
And then we have one from our friend Micah's wedding. It was the same. I don't even know how the second one happened. Like the first one was like, "Hey, we're vaguely gay. Let's take this photo." And the second one was like, let's do that photo again, basically. Which it doesn't matter. I'll never not regret. I'll never regret warmly embracing Zach in that way. He's a very lovely man. Miss you, bud. Your camping trip.
So okay, yeah. So
You've been camping a lot, though.
we have. We've been doing. We've gone on like 3 outings now. The first one we bought that camper last year, and so
Good camper.
yeah, it's a nice camper.
Nice camper.
We've had some issues with it along the way, and I'll get into some of that. We got that camper, and we took it out once last year, and then so this year we've taken it out. I think
Thank you.
3 times, maybe 4 times. I know for sure 3. But we took it over on the Loxton Highway 12 at some point. And then and we did a few nights there. Didn't have any issues with it there that I can remember. Oh, we have taken it out. I don't fucking remember. 4 maybe. I can't remember now. But we took it to your wedding and camped at your wedding.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
we did
good.
that. Yeah, that was a time.
Okay.
We camped at your wedding. Then
Which, no hotel room, so you save money on that.
yeah, except we pay for the camping.
Camping in general, yeah.
But we don't have to. You don't have to.
But you pay for
everywhere, but
camping
you have
too.
to
I mean, you
pay
eat
to
and
like post up and stuff. But yeah, and we talked about that. I want to talk more about
yeah.
the thing that is camping.
Yeah, but
We're gonna go.
we're gonna go rough it $300 later.
So we camped at your thing, at your wedding, and then discovered at that point that I had a broken deal that got winterized wrong. But I found the part for it and fixed it for $15.
Okay.
So I was okay with that. $15.
Sure, yeah.
No big deal.
Uh-huh.
And it was an easy fix. So then we did we did Door Shack, but we did Freeman Creek, which have you ever
Freeman Creek's
driven into Freeman Creek?
Yep, I have.
It's that big long windy downhill
Yeah,
road.
it's kind of a turd.
Yeah, so do it with a camper in your Suburban.
And you had the Suburban at the time.
We had the Suburban at the time.
So that's rough because that's a lot of weight behind you.
Yeah, we got down there.
That's pretty steep.
And we were in the lowest. I had it in the lowest gear. We got down there and we're rolling down the windows to check in at the gate, and I look at the rearview mirrors, and the brakes are just smoking.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, this happens all the time."
Yeah.
And
To
I'm sure it
idiots. It
probably
was what
does.
they wanted to say.
Yeah, all the time.
This happens all the time to,
Some
fucking
guys'
morons.
brakes completely went. So they did. Some guys' brakes not that day, but
Yeah, not you.
Kind of like coasted through. No, mine made it. But we went in and we did that, and so that prompted us to go trade in our Suburban. That was kind of like we were already kind of looking.
That was the catalyst, though.
But that was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we need to get a truck. So we went and we got a 2015 GMC Sierra,
Very nice.
and it is really nice.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of like stuff added onto it. So
Yep. How many miles are on that thing?
50,000, except at 25,000, I had a brand new engine dropped in because the drive shaft froze, or there's some sort of malfunction with it. So they put a whole new engine.
We're looking at a pickup.
I think that's awesome.
We're looking at a pickup. I'm excited to say it. But I don't want to.
I thought I was gonna make it to 40 before I got my first pickup.
I don't want to put too much excitement into it though, because I don't want to let myself down this weekend.
Yeah.
But we are looking into a pickup.
Has that been something you've always wanted?
So I had a pickup in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was garbage, but I loved it. This one is much nicer. But yes, I have always wanted a nice pickup, but not too big. This is a Dodge Dakota we're looking into. It's actually my friend traded it in to buy his car, and I wanted it anyways. Also, Kevin, if you listen to this episode, I would have bought it from you. So, idiot. I love you, but dumb. I truthfully do, but I would have bought it from you.
So for our big 2-week camp trip, we went to southern Utah. We did Monument Valley and Zion National Park.
But this is with the new pickup.
With the new pickup, and it went wonderfully.
Yeah.
The first night we got to our spot. We drove. The only thing that I think we would have done differently is split up our drive down into like 3 days instead of we did an overnight and then we did another long leg down to Monument Valley from either northern Utah or southern Idaho. We should have split it up more. That we didn't. But when we got to Monument Valley, we had kind of like an angled parking spot.
Yeah.
And so we pulled the camper in, and as I was lowering the tongue jack, it just broke. Like all the gears stripped out in the tongue jack, and it just. I had it like already like probably halfway off the ball, and then all of a sudden it goes, and then just slams back down on the ball of the truck.
Yeah, that's not good.
So Nicole calls. We had this 24-hour roadside assistance plan, and she calls the roadside assistance number, and all they kept on like they didn't understand what we were asking for. It's like they didn't have like an idea of what even a tongue jack was on a camper.
Yeah.
And you'd think if the RV dealer that's selling this 24-hour roadside assistance plan for your RV, you'd think that plan would have like some sort of idea.
Yeah, you'd hope that, yeah.
What that stuff is. But anyway, so called, and we didn't really get anywhere, and it was getting late because we drove all day that day. That was like a 12-hour day in the car. The kids were great, all things considered. And then we get there, we set up, we just leave it hooked up to the truck. But we had places we wanted to go. We wanted to do Four Corners.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to go to Monument Valley. And so the next morning I get up and I'm like on it. I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and saunter on down to the little gas station that's down the road. It's like a half mile down the road.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to go get some shit done. Because Nicole ended the night feeling pretty defeated. Because all they wanted to do was send a tow truck. And she's like, no, we don't need a tow truck. And the next day went that way too. And that she kept on saying, we don't need a tow truck. It was about to get bookended with you fucktard.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So I went down and I found the manager was down there, the manager, the camp manager or something. Mm-hmm. And so he was going to get his mechanic to come up and assess the situation and help us out however he could to see where, because we were at that point had to figure out, are we going to get a mobile mechanic out to change give us a new tongue jack? That was what we were expecting that service to provide, but didn't. So the mechanic comes up, he gets his floor jack and he jacks up the camper, and it's all at an angle because he's got just the floor jack at the one side.
Yeah.
And so he gets it we get it up off the ball, we move the truck, and then we get it rested on my the jack stand.
Yeah.
So we get it on the jack stand, and it's sitting there, and the mistake we made was not bringing the stabilizer jacks back up when we did that. Uh-huh. So I went and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and like tweak the stabilizer jacks, bring them back up. And so what happened when that did it, like at the point that he moved it, much of the weight had shifted to those stabilizer jacks, so it was just like resting on those. So I went to like bring the stabilizer jack up, and it just kind of like slips and sloughs off the deal, and then like the tongue goes down, and it's like, oh fuck. And the kids are inside the camper, so the camper tips like toe down, and so the scissor jacks, the stabilizer jacks, are all fucked.
Yeah,
they're just mangled, especially the front. The more the front two than the back two. So they're toast. And the employee that worked there, he's Navajo, but he was like, I think I can pound these out.
Right.
And maybe I might be able to pound these out. They're not going to be like great. Perfect.
Yeah.
But if I pound them out, you might be able to get you by until you can get some new ones.
Yeah.
So he took those, and then he took a jack stand. One of those like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a big 10-ton one. So then
Huge,
the trailer just kind of sat at a goofy angle because he only had one.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do it on both sides. So it's just on one side of the tongue. So it's like kind of.
Yeah.
And so we found a guy in Page, Arizona, which was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
2-hour drive away. We found a guy in Page, Arizona that had a new tongue jack. I described it to him over the phone. He was an RV and marine guy, like did RV and marine mechanics. And so I'm like, okay, great, awesome, I'll be there. And he goes, and I checked, and he had the scissor jacks too. He had a pair of them. He didn't have 4. So, and he's like, we close at 4, and it's like 10 o'clock or something at that point. I was like, great, we're heading out now. And so we head in, we get those. We're super grateful. He's even like he's got this big, beautiful Great Dane that's like multicolored. It's got blue eye and a brown eye. They've got Trump 2020 hats and Make America Great Again jackets hanging on their back wall. They've got a picture of Trump and Melania.
Wow.
A signed picture of Trump and Melania on the road. It's like they're just inviting vitriol from somebody.
Mm-hmm. But you're so grateful.
And I'm not that guy.
You don't care either.
I'm not that. I don't care about people's political.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna? And also,
it's
I
just
don't have anything to add to that.
It's just something you'll keep in your head for a podcast later on. Yeah.
I'll hold on to this for the show.
Yeah.
But and it doesn't change the fact that they were. I mean, they were very nice people.
Right. Yeah.
They're just
stupid
at this point. Dumb.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean,
thanks for bailing me out.
You made your choice in 2016, and that's fine. But if you're still making that choice for 2020, and I know people.
I know. Me. I do too.
But I just don't. I can understand it, but I don't understand it. Like,
sure,
I can understand some of their like.
This is, but if you're listening to the show for the first time,
it makes me giddy.
Yeah.
At the same time,
so like, by no means a liberal show, we don't care.
No.
But it also is funny. I also do like, I saw somebody with a Trump 2020 hat the other day, and I was like, oh, neat.
This is gonna get exciting in a year or so, because cool. I mean, it is just They bought their Trump 2020 hat in like 2018. Question. Yeah, exactly.
Like they're ready.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there's people I know online that are like, they're proud of their Make America Great Again cup koozie or
sure,
koozie.
Yeah.
And you're compelled to ask.
Yeah. But not in this case.
No.
Because you wanted to just get your jack and get the hell out of it.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to, I mean, how do you even have that conversation?
No.
Really? I mean, you can't. Because they've obviously, they're working on they're on a different, they've leveled up maybe beyond you.
Yeah.
They're on a different wavelength than you are.
Yeah.
If you can't understand it.
Right, yeah.
But they can, they're like, they get it. They get why they've made that choice.
Yeah.
And you can't
There's nothing you could possibly say that would ever
Right. So
They bought those in 2018. Like,
Right.
you know.
right. Oh yeah, and they're proud of them because they're
Yeah.
putting them on display,
Yeah.
and they know
Yeah.
there are people that are not like me
Yeah.
that are going to turn around, take their business elsewhere,
Yeah.
and not go and there's going to be an argument. And that guy, he was an arguer.
Yeah.
He wasn't arguing with me.
Because you didn't start it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
Yeah,
thank
he had
you.
some sort of sign on his wall like, I can't fix stupid. I just fix what you fucked up or something
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
he's like that kind of guy. So he's
Yeah.
like,
You're like, thank you. Thank you. Thank
so,
you.
Anyway, so I picked up my stuff. We got on our way. He sent us to Walmart for a couple other odds and ends that we were needing. Because we were like, well, we're going to go to Napa. And he's like, go to Walmart. I hate Walmart, which a Trump guy I would have figured would like Walmart. But see, that's how not ignorant I am.
I think
but-
everybody hates Walmart.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe that's the universe.
Including like Walmart people. They're just like, I hate it, but it's a necessary evil. So
It
go
is.
there.
So we went there. We got our shit and we got going. And went back. And another person that was working came out and they put on the new tongue jacket. And we got all squared away. And I spent the better part of the evening. This was our day that we were going to go to Four Corners, but didn't. I spent the better part of our evening sweating underneath the camper, putting on the two scissor jacks we got. It was a experience to be sure. And then we got back. When we got back, Nicole got on the horn with everybody and has made a lot of noise since. And we're still in the process of getting things squared away.
So is it still busted right now?
No,
Everything's good.
it's
on it.
operable.
Nice.
I got two other scissor jacks that I got to put on still.
Nice.
But I just got to find a day that's cool enough to
Nice.
sit out and fuck with that.
So what I wrote down over here is I have a friend who told me that regardless of what year a trailer you buy, it does not matter. So I was looking for once I get my pickup, I want a little trailer, little one.
Yeah.
Small though. And I said, should I buy new or should I buy used? And he said, it does not matter what year you buy, you will have so many issues with it that you'll hate it. So buy used.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Um,
we've had there's some issue
said he had
every single time, and
Yeah.
I hate my camper. I love it,
Yeah.
but I hate
Yeah.
it. And
He said he had stairs on it, the automatic stairs that come down. He said they stopped halfway and they had to replace the stairs on a trip
yeah,
because they did not work. But it was just high enough to where they couldn't get into it without the stairs. Unless they were like going to climb Everest is how he described it. So he said basically, does not matter. There will be a million things that break on them. You just got to embrace it. So
yeah.
so
That
when
is what it is. Yeah.
when I get a pickup, if it's this weekend or not, I'll make sure when I buy a trailer, I'll embrace the hate that I have for it
Oh yes,
because it might break.
and probably buy used. I'd go lightly used
Yeah,
if you can.
yeah. I mean, I don't want a bunch of like bums butt fucking in it.
Right. Oh, that was a whole conversation we've been having because there's this thing called RV share. And people are talking about like there's this whole like advocacy for it where people are like, I'm paying off my camper in like half the time
Yeah.
or less, like in 2 years because
Sure.
they're doing the RV share. And like Nicole's first argument was like, I don't want people having sex on our bed.
Sure.
And I was like, well, I just take the foam.
I mean, I've stayed in hotels, so
Yeah, that's that too.
I mean,
And so it's just one
people
of those.
jizz in the curtains in hotel rooms. I mean, like, there's nothing you can do.
There's jizz in all the curtains.
Do you not blacklight a hotel room? The nicest hotel room, don't blacklight it.
No,
There'd be jizz everywhere.
everywhere.
On the light switches. Anything you touch. The remote for the TV,
Oh, every button.
every button. Someone's jizzed on that
Even,
remote.
Like, I mean, when you use a TV remote at a hotel, all you need is channel up and channel down and volume. But every button's gonna have jizz
Caked
on it.
or icinged, I guess.
The batteries in the remote,
Yeah.
jizz.
Anything you have to touch has been jizzed on or in a hotel room, in the nicest of hotel rooms.
Yeah.
So somebody I know is like, I only stay at the Davenport in Spokane. I work for the state, so you get like a state rate. Like I stay at the Davenport in Spokane. I'm like, they still jizzed on everything in that hotel room, right? Like everything. And they're like, no, they haven't. How do you know? And I'm like, because I jizzed on everything in all those rooms. I did it. It was me. No, but I mean, seriously though, you can't trust humans. So you just got to embrace it and be okay with it, make peace with it.
And that's, I think, the part I'm having, like I kind of like the idea of the RV share thing, but it's like, oh, then I'm a landlord. And then I was also reading like people have to do like a orientation with the renter.
Yeah.
Prior to going, and I'm like, that sounds like not fun at all.
I think our thinking is.
And then one person was like, "What are some of the problems that come up from it?" And the guy's like, "People not
jizz on everything."
Oh
no, not that.
Not draining the black tank correctly
With jizz,
and
so
I'm
much.
Like, okay, so that's enough to dissuade me from wanting to do it at all because I don't want I barely want to clean my own shit out of our black tank.
Yeah. So I think Bree and I's idea is we get this pickup. Hopefully this weekend, if it's a right deal, and we get it, approved for what we want, the right interest, all that stuff, all that stuff, buying a vehicle. The next step would be a camper trailer. Now we don't need anything big. What size is yours? 20.
Ours is 28 feet.
28.
We could, if we didn't have kids, we could get away with much less.
So we're thinking like 17. We have so the vehicle we're looking at is a Dodge Dakota. So I don't know if we're going to want to haul anything more than 17 feet.
It depends on the engine size, and so you'd have to look at the specs on it to see what it can haul. But I mean, the engine size on the Suburban was like 1500 chassis, so it was like it was a truck chassis, that's not engine, I guess. But
I mean, Freeman, I'd want to go to Freeman. So that's how I'm thinking is like stuff like Freeman. Like even then, I just think the weight on it, I'm thinking even smaller. We don't need much.
I think you could do 17 feet though, because we did 28 feet with the Suburban.
Right. Exactly.
And
so that's how I'm thinking.
And which was a little high for it. But if you
that's
did
what I'm thinking. 17 feet, you get me off the ground.
That's gonna be light enough.
Give me a little kitchen.
Yeah. Well, 28 feet we've got. You haven't even been in ours yet.
I haven't, no.
We've got we have a tip out or slide out.
That's right. Yep.
And it's got the dinette and that, and then we've got a couch that folds out. We have basically what equates to 3 queen beds.
Right.
When we sleep it at night, it sleeps 6.
I'm just stoked. Hope this pickup thing works out, Ward.
I do too.
But I don't want to put too much hope in it. I don't want to set myself up for failure. Next episode we do a show and I'm like, hey, it didn't work out. I don't want to be bummed about that.
Right.
But I won't lie, I'll be a little bummed about it.
Well, of course, you got. I mean, I have a feeling it's going to happen for
you.
you.
I know the pickup.
You rent right now.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Do you have much other? You don't have probably much debt. Maybe
got the car.
Loan.
Definitely student loan. Couple credit cards. The thing is decent.
But you pay all your stuff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Your credit report's probably good.
Yeah. The thing is that it's the only thing that would hold us up really is that she just switched jobs.
Mm. Yeah, there's that, but I don't know. I want to talk about that. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
have to have her on.
We had that deaf doula episode where she called and was talking about deaf
doulas. So my wife is officially working at a funeral home. I'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I want to know
how that happened,
how that transpired.
So I'll tell you how it happened because it's amazing. And if you're a student and you listen to the show, I know you already know what I do for a living if you know me personally. So please listen to this if you're a student and you're trying to find a job in a field that you want to work in. We'll just leave it at that. My wife, she, God damn it, Borat. She's going back to school. She knew she wanted to quit her job. She worked at a mill here in town, a lumber mill, and she hated it. And I was very supportive of it. We knew this was going to happen for a long time, that she was going to want to quit this mill to go back to a field of what she wanted to
Which,
do.
to be honest, was a good paying job.
Great paying job. Yeah, very good paying job.
And with a lot of like long-term potential if she wanted
Very
to
much.
see it through.
If she wanted to see it through.
Right.
But she hated it. Just absolutely hated it. So I wasn't really sure what she wanted to do, and I don't know if she was either, but she had an idea. She talked about the death doula thing. If you go back and listen to that episode, you can hear that a little bit.
Well, and you can sense in even her tone.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a longing.
Yeah, it's something she's interested in. It's an interest, and she wanted a career in the death field, we'll say. She went on to Google and found a funeral home in the area here that had a 5-star rating on Google. Literally, that's what she went by. And she reached out to them to set up a meeting to talk to them about their careers, about what they like, what they dislike, misconceptions, stuff like that, like a job shadow interview.
Yeah, yeah.
But she set it up. I did not tell her to do this. I say that because of the field that I work in currently. She set up this interview with them. She went to go talk to them. And during the interview, she said it felt like an interview for her, for a job. So she came home and told me that. And I was like, hey, we should finish up that resume. And I have resume experience because that's the position that I work in. And so I helped her finish her resume. She went and turned that in a couple days later. And they called her and offered her a job. All she had to do, students looking for jobs, young people looking for jobs, is she reached out to the owner of a business to talk to them about what their business was like. And then she got an offer based on her interests.
So now they called her,
She
called back.
So she called them to set up an interview with them to talk to them about the job.
Right. Yeah.
During the interview, it felt like an interview for her.
Like a kind of reversal.
She came home and told me that, and I was like, you better turn in a resume. So she took another initiative to finish her resume, and then I helped her with it to make it look
To polish it.
to make it look right. Yeah. Which is what I do for a living. And then she turned that into them, and then they called her back. They called her to offer her a position. They called her in to bring her in for a meeting. Then she went into the meeting, and they offered her a position.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So now, not only is she working in the field that she wanted to work in to go to school for, she got a job in that field, a well-paying job in the field,
Oh, sweet.
while she's going to school to do that field. So she'll have that experience.
That's awesome.
She'll have firsthand experience, and she'll eventually have the degree to go with it.
She's basically interning with pay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she's essentially, they've actually looked at her as a paid intern. She went online to do some paperwork to become a paid, like, apprentice. Where basically the work that she's doing has nothing to do with the work she's doing. She's going, like, she'll get this apprenticeship based on what she's doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She'll get this apprenticeship credits, basically, for what she's going to be doing in her job that she does right now. That she started a couple weeks. Monday was her official first day, but she had been doing a little bit. As soon as they offered her the job, she was going in and doing some stuff after hours to kind of learn it. And
Right.
yeah, but she's got a job in it. She works in a funeral home now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations, Bree.
Yeah, she just had to reach out.
That's a really cool story.
So young people, if you're listening, if you're interested in a field, reach out. Reach out to somebody. Don't reach out to HR. Reach out to somebody in charge. Call them. Employers.
The worst they can do is say,
no.
I'm not interested in.
Right, and then you just call the other one. Call
Right.
another one.
Yeah.
They want to know you're interested. Employers don't think that you have. If you are young, right now, employers don't think you have soft skills.
Yeah, anybody applying for a job is just looking for work.
Right. And they don't think that you have soft skills. All employers don't think that you have soft skills if you are young. That's what I have learned in where I work right now.
Yeah.
They think that you are dumb, and you were young, and even if you earn your bachelor's degree, they think that when you graduate college, you do not have soft skills and you are not prepared to work. All it takes is for you to change their mind. All you have to do is just reach out to employers and show you have interest in a field.
Oh, yeah.
They'll come in. Bria's not, she's not a unicorn. This isn't like somebody who, she's not the only person that's ever done this. She just happened to have done it on her own.
No, that's.
But if you're interested in like a tech company, call that CEO. Call him. Who cares? Maybe you get nothing. Maybe you get an assistant.
Yeah.
Maybe you go to the business, go into the front door and say, what do you do here? Show that interest. That's it. It's a really easy step, and you think it sounds so easy. It is. It's just you don't think of doing it because it sounds so easy.
Well, that's like one of the things, like, I'm not going to talk too much about where I work, but where I do work is it's not so hard to climb the ranks.
Sure.
Where I'm at. It's just a matter of a person's willingness or desire to do that. And I see it all the time because I'll see people, and we've talked about this before, and this isn't anything against Bree. It's just kind of like it parallels that, but people that are unqualified can climb the ranks because they have that ambition enough to pursue it. And it's the pursuant behavior that helps to catalyze people in whatever work field.
I could tell you her entry-level position with no experience, but having the interest to do it and the excitement is higher pay than a lot of entry-level jobs in this area. And then a lot of decent pay jobs in this area.
I bet.
And that's insane.
I'm excited for her.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think it's awesome. That's why we can go look at a pickup this weekend and not have to worry about it after she had quit her job at the mill.
Yeah.
Which paid well. We would not be having this conversation.
If she just quit her job at the mill.
Yes. Because it would be a different conversation. It would be, how am I going to live? with the cars that we have. It's a different conversation.
Oh yeah.
No, but it was a cool experience. It was cool to see her go through it. I'm very proud. Bree, if you listen to this, I'm very proud.
No.
Very proud that you did this. For those of you who don't watch the show all the time, you know that she's 9 years younger than me. So we're essentially not the same generation. And my generation isn't necessarily one that calls and looks for opportunities either. My generation is also a lost cause as well. And we're near the same generation. It's just more insane for me that somebody 9 years younger than me just
took that initiative
to do that. And all it took was just a phone call. I mean, she just hardwired in. You know how many students that I work with that don't even have their voicemail set up? I mean, if they go apply for a job and they don't set up their voicemail.
That's crazy.
You gotta set up that voicemail.
Because no one's gonna leave a message.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I won't.
But if it's a company looking for an employee, they'll leave a message.
Right.
But they just, then you call them though, and it's like the voicemail box is full, and you cannot leave a message. And you're like, well, you just lost an opportunity, idiot.
Yeah.
But man, it's hard. And I'm not speaking against any other generation. I hate checking my voicemail too. I get it. I hate having voicemail.
I hate having a phone.
I also hate having a phone. My mom has a podcast. If you want to listen to it, you just have to listen to my voicemail.
Yeah.
I've seen that meme. That's a funny meme, though.
It is.
My mom leaves 3-minute voicemails. I say 3 because I don't want to over exaggerate, but a 3-minute voicemail lasts forever. Anyway.
You go on like 6 different tangents.
Oh my God. I call back. I'm like, what was your voicemail about?
I didn't listen.
I listened to, hey, Derek. Beep. Message deleted. Anyway, I want to pick up.
So I started a movie yesterday.
Yeah, tell me about this movie. I've been wanting to talk to you about this.
I
don't know why you did this to yourself. You said to hate watch.
Yeah, it was. So I signed up for like 3 months of Showtime because it's like on special right now for like $5.99 a month. And one of the movies they had on there was the Amy Schumer vehicle, I Feel Pretty.
Yeah.
And if you've listened to this show, we all know how I feel about Amy Schumer.
Say it. You have a line.
She's talentless garbage.
Yep. Okay.
I do not like Amy Schumer. I feel like she lucked her way into the business.
No one does.
Um,
People do, but I don't know them. I don't know them.
so I'm going to scroll through our messages.
People do like Amy Schumer, but I don't know those people. But I know they do exist because she keeps getting stuff, so they must exist.
I feel like her days are numbered, though.
I would say after the not reaction, maybe after the lack of reaction from her last stand-up special, I would agree.
Yeah, I didn't watch that
Nobody did.
at all. So I started this. I was like, I'm going to hate watch this.
Sean Walters has joined in. She's the worst. He was also on Off the Rails sports program. Thank you for joining, Sean. Yes, she's the worst.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to hate watch this rom-com. And it's like got all the beats, all the acts. You can see it. It's like they're laying the groundwork.
You know what
Immediately
happens
from
in
the
it,
point.
yeah.
And she's sad, and the first thing she does is get on a spinning machine, and she's all awkward about things. And then there's this like whole thing where she's like, 9.5. I need a 9.5 shoe. Like, do you go to a spinning place and get shoes? For one, maybe in
No.
a bigger city. But so I don't know what the whole. But so
I mean, I've been to spinning class. You just use the shoe you have
right,
on.
that's what I was thinking. She's like, I need a 9.5 shoe, double wide. And then the person
Was she
helping
bowling?
her was like like a trailer, double wide like a trailer. And yeah, I mean
Har.
the dialogue is awful.
Har.
But and then so she does this whole mousy exchange. Then she gets in there and everybody's all skinny. She has an exchange with a skinny girl and she's like, first day too? And then this whole thing. So the message I sent you was she works with this schlubby guy named Mason. Why doesn't she just fuck him? No, she's going to have to land some cut dude that seems beyond her muffin, or that sees beyond her muffin top. Then I'm sure they'll have the was I a fucking bet second act from what movie was that? Was it She's All That?
She's All That, yeah.
Okay.
Was there a bet?
And then
Good movie.
It was a good movie, but I mean that's that same formula. We do those acts. So and then like minutes
The real
pass.
gamble is whether or not I finish this movie, but yeah.
Yep, minutes pass and I go, she just needs to fuck this Mason guy.
Yeah.
Because they keep having these little scenes where there's no chemistry, but between them. But I'm like, he'd do her.
Sure. Well,
but she's too. But that's the thing is like the attitude is that she's too good for him, but who's good and who's she good enough for?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wonder if she was a producer on this.
I don't know because I did not watch much more past that. My next message to you was had to quit.
Yeah.
I moved on within 7 minutes.
The reason why I ask is because in movies that she produces, she in the movies that she produces, she fucks John Cena. Like in the movies that Amy Schumer does, she can fuck John Cena.
Right.
I've seen John Cena's wife, or he was engaged to her. She wasn't Amy Schumer.
Right. Yeah, and John Cena wouldn't look twice at her
No.
in real life.
No. So I'm interested if she directed this or produced it.
Even a John Cena type
No.
would not. And that's the thing.
Well, I mean, a Derek type wouldn't. So.
Not that personality, no.
Yeah. No.
It's
She's
more
not
about her,
funny.
It's more about her personality than anything.
Well,
for me.
she's she's talentless. I don't like people that.
She
so-
acts. See,
Okay,
I
okay,
feel like
so-
she feels I'm beneath her
Sure. Yeah.
somehow.
I don't like people that. So okay. So let me. I tell jokes.
You've been waiting for this episode, audience. This episode where we take a deep dive on Amy Schumer and how.
Let's
shitty
dive
she is.
in. Let's dive
Yeah.
in. Okay. I tell jokes. I have written jokes. And I have done comedy. It's not always been good. I've had more bad than good. I've had more decent than good. I've had a few bad. Let's just say that I haven't a lot of bad shows where people like hated it, but even if they hated it, they lied to me. But I could tell where it wasn't great based on laughter, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
That said, while I feel like I might be funny and I want to make people laugh, that's what I like doing. I have friends who are very much funnier than me. And when I have people that are like, man, you're funny, I always think to myself, man, you should meet my friend Jared or meet my friend Adam or meet my friend Patrick. They're so funny. They make me laugh all the time. That's why they're my friends. You should meet Zach. You should meet Sean Walters. They're funny people.
Yeah.
They make me laugh. That's why I'm friends with them. You should meet Ward. They make me laugh. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
So I'm like, I like to make people laugh. But it's not that I necessarily think I'm so fucking funny. I think that she thinks she is super hilarious.
Yeah.
And maybe the jokes that she took from other people are funny. But she is
When
not
told
funny.
by the people that told them the first time.
Yeah. She is not funny.
Right.
I don't like people who are not funny, who think they are super funny. My case in point, my wife, goddamn, Borat. It's gonna happen every time now. My wife, Borat. She does not think she is funny. She does not think she's a funny person. She makes me laugh though all the time. She's very funny.
I
think
laugh.
she's
got a.
I think she's very funny. It's a very dark sense of humor. It's funny to me.
You know who makes me laugh is my son. Well, both my kids actually, both my sons.
Yeah.
Even my daughter sometimes, but I don't think she knows she's doing it. But
Sure.
But my son, Wyatt, who does Stranger Show,
Yeah.
he'll get me sometimes, and
It's like a sneaky one.
yeah, well,
And you're not supposed to laugh.
yeah, I mean, he had some chum the water joke the other day when my dad was here, and my dad about lost it. They were at the pool, and so, but and then he'll do things where he'll make a joke when I'm supposed to be pissed at him, and it's hard to like.
But I don't think and even as a young, and we've talked about how I can identify with White a lot. He's not super vain in the fact that he is funny though.
I don't think he knows he is.
Right.
Quite, and that's like what
I
you're
think
saying.
he likes to make people laugh.
Oh yeah.
He likes the reaction from it, which is how I was. I'm at that age, especially. I like making people laugh. I think that's fun, but I don't think like, oh, I'm super funny.
Yeah, I remember going through that phase when you're about his age. You're like, I can get on these adults' level.
Yeah.
And you're like, and so then you kind of try to play to their level, and sometimes like what you're doing like misses really far, really bad.
Man,
but even as an adult, when you do that though, too, it misses.
Yeah.
Like you can miss.
Man, I tell people all the time. There are people who are like, man, that was really funny, and I say, and they're like, usually it's so not to be a sexist person. It's usually girls. You're so funny. How'd you get so funny? Like that. That's a thing I've heard from girls. No offense to girls at all, but I always think, I don't say it to them. I would say it to you and other people who make jokes. We do a podcast where we do jokes.
Yeah.
I cast a wide net. It's a wide net. And I would say 75% of the stuff that I say that could be funny is not funny. 25% of it lands and I recycle it.
Yeah.
A lot of it is also, there's a lot of workshopping it there. That's why you have friends that are also funny. I workshop a lot of stuff with my friends, even though we don't necessarily call it workshopping, but that's what we're doing. I workshopped something with Bree yesterday where we were talking about, I don't know if you remember, I used to say, instead of kill two birds with one stone, I used to slip in, kill two girls with one cup. I used to say that in normal conversations. I used to say like, yeah, I mean, I think that'll kill two girls with one cup. So then you just continue talking,
yeah.
and then people are like, what the fuck? And that's funny to me. That's hilarious. And especially when it's fast and you don't know, and it's like, but he just, so.
Yeah, and you're waiting for the one person to cut you off and be like, what did you just say?
So stuff like that. So the other thing, so what we came up with the other day was like, well, you know what they say, you know what they've always said. I mean, I love doing that too. Like, you know, like from a foundation, you know what they've always said, you can't suck your own dick without breaking a few ribs, which is like, you know, obviously a play on like, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, you know. But that kind of stuff, like
extremely vulgar, yeah.
That's super funny to me to go so extreme, and then to say like that's a age-old saying,
age-old wisdom, yeah.
that I came up with right now.
Farmers pass along.
Yeah, the farmers did. You know what they say? You can't suck your own dick without breaking a few ribs. No, that's not. No one's ever said that.
What about making an omelet with two?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Johnny.
You know what my grandpappy always said? After a long day in the fields, my grandpappy always said, you can't suck your own dick without breaking a few ribs. So that's what he said when I was young, and it always stuck with me. That's funny to me. Or, I mean, I want to... Yeah. I mean, and of course, a lot of them I always think of like is just tweets I'll send where it's like, you know, if you can't handle me, hold on, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Adolf Hitler, you know, like stuff like that, you know, like that's, I love misquoting. That's funny. That's hilarious to me, but that's not, but I don't necessarily say that because I think that's so funny. I want to put that out there because I want other people to laugh at it because I like people laughing at what I say.
Right. No, I look for stupid things to say a lot
sure.
of times.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll never come out on a podcast because I'm not that brave. But like, I'll sing songs to my kid.
Oh,
like
we've
make
talked
them
about,
up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's usually in the heat, like in a heated moment too. I'll sing aggressively at them, and they'll be pissed. But yeah,
we've talked about just stupid making up lyrics to shows. You know, which my famous one is, gonna solve that crime. Most likely a rape crime. You know. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff, you know, that's stupid stuff. I don't necessarily think that's very funny.
No, it's like my thing isn't. It's funny.
I know when it catches on though when I look over and I see, you know, Bree when we're watching Law and Order. I see her, you know, gonna solve that crime. It's stupid. It's a win, you know.
Right.
So I guess like all I'm saying is like that's one of my main reasons for not liking Amy Schumer. Because I do feel like that what she comes out and out of the gate she's like, I'm pregnant, my vagina. Like that's the first
all
thing
her
she
jokes are
leads
winners in her mind. There's nothing that's gonna fall flat. Nothing that's gonna.
And I wonder, I've never seen online of her doing a tour. I don't see her tour. And a lot of comedians will tour a ton before they do a big old special.
Yeah.
Because they'll test out, but they'll also test out shit.
Yeah, workshop material.
Brian Regan will test a ton of stuff before he records a special.
Oh yeah.
And Louis C.K. back in the day, I mean, he was known for testing out stuff that wouldn't land at all. I mean, it takes time. I mean, that's why comedy in Lewiston's bad, because there's not a place to test out stuff all the time.
Right. And there's no room.
That's why I've swung out a few times.
Failure is not. It's different in a small area than it is in a big area, because you can fail multiple times in the same. Like in New York, you can fail multiple times at the same venue. In Lewiston, you can fail once, and then if you do it again, if you go and do that same material a second time,
and a lot of your audience is the same audience.
You're getting that same audience back, so they're gonna.
It's hard.
One, heard it, and two, they've already tolerated you one time, and
they gave you a courtesy laugh the first time.
Right.
They're not courtesy laughing that second time.
No, they're talking.
Yeah, they are.
Second time.
Through it.
Right.
About their plans for when you're done.
Yeah.
You want to get
Looking at their watch.
You want to get a hamburger after this asshole's done talking? You're just up there trying.
Trying your damnedest.
Just trying your best. Amy Schumer, she sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's my major criticism, you know. And I watched I didn't watch the stand-up special on Netflix. I refuse.
Right.
But of course, when you're on Netflix, though, it previews stuff when you land on it, and they featured that for a little bit there, where it was her wearing the leather thing again, but this time she's pregnant, and then she was just doing like, I'm pregnant. It was just like, ugh.
Yeah, well,
it was hard to watch. Even the preview is hard to watch.
What I think is also difficult is you're starting to see. I feel like she has kind of set back female comedians in a way, because you see it kind of emulated in Ali Wong a little bit, emulates that same kind of style a little bit, because she's going for that. It's almost a shock value, over the top deal, but you don't get. I feel like the comedy of like a Kathleen Madigan in the 2000s, or even a Maria Bamford, and those ones were solid comedy. But now I feel like it's getting oversaturated with less savories, and I feel like
I'd say of the modern era,
catalyzed by her meteoric rise.
I'd say like of the modern era, I like Chelsea Peretti a lot. Her special on Netflix is great.
I don't think I've watched that one.
It's good. Check it out. It's funny. Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Kathleen Madigan, you watch her stuff, and Maria Bamford, like those two specifically, you watch their stuff, and it was never.
I don't know that it holds up in today's scene.
I mean,
but it's also stuff you've heard before, so it's not necessarily that it holds
Bamford
up or doesn't.
could. Madigan would be tough.
Yeah.
Only because it's just it's very dry. Bamford's good because she's got the voices that I think that would always carry.
Right.
When she's talking, she's very high pitched, and then she does the voices for like a Karen type, and she's like, what, and to go into like the voice, I think that works really well. Who is you watched Pete Holmes' show as well, Crashing.
Yeah.
And they had the SNL gal on there, Latina. What the hell's her name?
Can't pull it right at the moment. Maria Villaseñor. Yeah,
she's wonderful on that show.
Mm-hmm.
She does a great job, and I love that. Like her thing is like the voices, and she has that heart to heart with like the Alley girl, and I like the Alley girls.
Was that Lauren Lampkus?
Yeah.
I didn't like her.
No, not Pete's wife, but the one that was the comedian girlfriend.
The comedian girlfriend. Yeah. Did you see her?
Nope.
Her special on that Tim Robbins
deal?
it's not good.
Oh, bummer.
I didn't like it. Well, I mean, it might be okay for some people, but she did like 4 different characters or something like that throughout the thing.
Okay.
It's weird. I mean, I could see some humor in it, but I liked her in Crashing.
Yeah. And
The one
that's
he- the
not
one he
that's not his
dated.
wife,
Not
but the
his wife,
girlfriend.
but the girlfriend, not the weird one
Nobody likes her.
in that 3rd season.
That's her one and only show. She ruined her career. She could be great, but she ruined her career by doing that show. Because she did the crazy girlfriend. You can't
Right away, yeah.
You can't recover from
You
that.
gotta play like some normal people first.
Oh man,
Yeah.
bummer. That was a good show though. Crashing was. It ended fine.
Yeah, I feel like it ended the way it should have.
I would have been fine with one more season of it,
Yeah, you could have
just to see where he goes.
just to put a pin in it.
Yeah, but
But
I
they
wouldn't
kind
have-
of put a pin. They kind of finalized it anyway.
I wouldn't have wanted a lot of drama in it though. I wanted to see. I would have been okay with a season of the show where it's basically like that movie Chef.
Pete wins. Pete wins. Pete wins.
Yeah. Well, no, like that movie Chef with Jon Favreau. Did you ever watch that?
I was listening to a show today where I heard him talk about.
Okay.
that, and now I gotta watch it.
So watch the movie Chef with Jon Favreau, and that's basically like a feel good movie of Jon Favreau winning and then winning and then winning and then winning. Like he starts off losing in the first few minutes of the show, but then he just wins and wins and wins and wins and wins. It's a feel good movie. I would have been fine with the final season of Crashing ended with like just
Just winning,
showing like Pete's meteoric rise on the show.
getting the E-Trade baby gig.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get E-Trade and starting the
Starting a
podcast.
successful podcast.
Starting the podcast. Yeah, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
With no losing. Maybe a couple here and there. Nothing big though.
Right.
And maybe that's why it ended when it ended. Maybe there was no other direction.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me. Because who wants to watch him lose again?
What's that?
Who would want to watch him lose again? Like that'd be lame. You start seeing some success from the last season, and then all of a sudden, none.
Right.
Like, tired. It's like Glow. I feel like Glow has to end on a semi-low point because I know the real Glow did.
Yeah, and I haven't looked in too greatly into the history of it, but
I watched a documentary on Netflix about it.
I did too. I think. Yeah, I might need to rewatch it, but
I will say this: the welfare queen from the show recently appeared in an AEW pay-per-view as her wrestling. So the welfare queen on Glow is a wrestler named Karma.
Oh, right, yeah. I remember reading that.
She was wrestling recently on a AEW pay-per-view as like her Karma character.
Oh, cool.
Which was cool to see her back in action, like in real action, like wrestling action. And that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Considering she's doing the show, WWE's been doing a good job of pushing Glow.
Really?
They've had the cast on a few times, and they've like Allison Brie and a few other cast members on to like promote their show. And
What do you think? Do you think it has one season left in it?
yeah, I think this is it.
I think it would be ideal.
If not, it'd be one more season where they're in Las Vegas,
And that's one I could rewatch.
and then call it. This is season 3 coming out.
Yeah.
Give it 4. I'd say 4. 4 in a movie. Community's ruined me because I'm like I got the whole 6 season in a movie thing in me. Do that for Glow. 4 seasons in a good movie. I'd
Did they
watch
do a
that.
Community movie?
No, not yet, but that was a running joke. That was a 6 seasons in a movie. They've done 6 now, so do a movie.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. Absolutely. I love Joel McHale. I wish his show would have lasted on Netflix.
I liked his show.
So I think Glow would be the same. I think House of Cards was unfortunate because Kevin Spacey ruined his life by being an asshole.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I mean, I would have loved to have seen an actual ending to that.
Did you watch
Nope.
any of it?
Any of the show?
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
I've watched, I want to say like the first few episodes, which I know isn't enough because I think it really took off after the first season.
It is though. It's a good show, but I mean, honestly, if you watch season 1 of House of Cards, you get it.
Yeah.
They're bloodthirsty politicians who will ruin anyone and do anything they can. I mean, the first few episodes honestly set the stage for it, and that's all it is for the whole show. So I would say you did not miss much more.
Okay. Did you watch season 1 of Succession yet?
Not yet.
You still have HBO?
Kind of.
That's right. Get it watched. Watch season 1 of Succession because season 2 is coming out.
I know. I need to watch it.
It's
I love that cast.
Oh man, it's so
Is
good.
Brian Cox? Did he just? No, Rip Torn. Never mind.
Yeah, Rip Torn just died.
R.I.P. Rip.
Yeah.
I do actually.
I get it, Derek.
I do honestly mean that though. Rip Torn
Right.
was a great actor, and
No, he was
that's a shame.
super talented.
It'll be sad when Brian Cox dies though too. I would say.
Oh yeah, there's so many actors right now that I think Ian McShane,
Yeah.
John Voight.
The older they get, it's like, oh man.
It's gonna suck.
Be a big loss.
Redford,
Yeah, Redford.
Clint Eastwood.
Well, Clint's getting up there too. I mean,
He's like 88, 89.
yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah. Cool that Clint's been doing directing though. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's remained pretty active. I didn't like The Mule that much.
I didn't watch it, but I'm sure I wouldn't have liked it.
It was it didn't do much for me.
I'm over watching the old man movie. I like the movies he directs more than the movies he's in.
Yeah.
Again,
it's kind of sad.
Gran
to say.
Torino's not my favorite.
No, it's not my favorite. I think
I loved it when it came out.
The last movie I enjoyed him in, a pretty good deal, was Space Cowboys.
Great movie.
Because there was like a great ensemble with
Donald Sutherland and
he's another one. James
Tommy
Garner.
Lee Jones, James Garner, R.I.P.
Yeah, James Garner was a great actor.
Man, the Rockford Files, like one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. Well, and
I love the Rockford Files and its
people like
original.
the Notebook for McAdams and Gosling, but I like the Notebook for James Garner.
Yeah. Well, and I remember I watched the Rockford Files when it was on. I would watch it on syndication from the 70s, 80s.
I think it's late 70s and bled into the 80s.
Okay, so I would watch it in syndication. Then, do you remember when the Rockford Files came back?
They did movies, I thought.
They did. Well, they were like miniseries.
Yeah.
But that was in what 1990.
Rockford Files ran between 74 to 1980
Okay.
and remains in syndication to the present day. Let's see.
I want to see it when it comes back.
The movies I think came in late 80s, early 90s. They were movies. They weren't miniseries.
They were the 90s though. Well, I mean, not miniseries in the fact that they didn't go to theater though. That's what I mean.
No,
like they were on TV.
Direct to TV movies.
That's what they were. Yeah.
And because my wife has them.
Oh, nice.
TV movies. Okay.
Keep going down.
8 Rockford Files reunion TV movies were made from 1994
That's why.
to 1999.
Okay. That's
airing on the
why.
CBS network.
That's why they felt like miniseries to me, because there's 8.
In a 5-year period.
Yeah. They were good though.
No, they're not bad. They did two. That's what it sounded like exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
There were 2 MacGyver movies.
There were.
We have both of those, and all 7 seasons of MacGyver.
Rockford's good though.
Rockford Files is good.
MacGyver's not.
No, it is too.
No.
Have you watched a MacGyver recently?
No.
I'm not talking with that new
Not MacGruber.
dollface boy.
Oh, you mean the you're talking about the new show?
The new MacGyver.
No, I have not watched that one especially. But I have not seen the original MacGyver in a long time. I have seen a lot of those when I was a kid.
I've rewatched as early as my 20s and into my 30s. Like I've rewatched some in my 30s.
Okay.
There's rewatchability to them, but my wife and I are on in different schools of like she'll rewatch stuff from that time period, and she'll rewatch a lot of Rockford Files stuff, and she'll rewatch other things. I don't rewatch a lot of that stuff. I kind of let's move forward.
Yeah.
Let's find out what's new. Which doesn't always bode well for me either, because I also like to kind of go down.
Yeah.
Like I like to rewatch Deadwood.
Sure.
There's some things that I will rewatch. Arrested Development.
Sure. Well,
Wyatt made me watch The Office. Didn't make me, but he wanted to watch a couple episodes of The Office with me, and instantly I'm hooked.
Yeah. I mean, and I still on my cable TV that I have, I will watch if The Office is on in syndication. I'll watch it. I will also watch, and people know this who especially listen to the show. I will watch the SVU anytime. I will watch that, but also the Rockford Files. I started rewatching those a while back. God, they were good, man. James Garner was good.
Well, and he's got such kind of like a dry, smarmy,
yeah,
like impatient.
but he was great.
Like he was almost impatient in his delivery.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good description, though.
But yeah, and I liked it. I've always felt like his delivery in many of his movies was.
I also
similar to that.
I like private detective stuff. I do like that. Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd.
I want to go back. I've never watched Veronica Mars, but there's a new
new one coming out.
It's out.
Yeah,
on Hulu.
I want to go back and watch some
And
of the old ones.
I've
There was a
never-
movie too, wasn't there?
There was a movie that
Yeah.
was in between the new season and the original series.
Mm-hmm.
It only ran for 3 seasons originally, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like Firefly where it got
Right.
canceled and
Early
then
on,
people
but
freaked out.
had a big cult following.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably get out of here.
Now she's trying to find a bomber.
Yeah.
I saw the preview.
Yeah.
That
That's
looks
all
good.
I know. I need to go back and revisit that show because
Yeah, me
I've never really watched
I've
it.
never watched the series, but I think I watched some of the movie. And it's not to like say that I didn't like it. It's just like I had to leave. You know, like I had to. It was one of those things where it was like I had to go to the store or something, and then I
Right.
just forgot about it.
Well, and it's not one of those shows that I think about that I'm like, I need to sit down and watch every one of these episodes. But I wouldn't mind watching.
And she's in better stuff now.
That's, yeah.
The Good Place.
The Good Place is great.
So good. Love Ted Danson.
Man, that's such a good show. When's it coming back?
I don't know. Did you watch the show he was in with Jason Schwartzman though?
Bored to Death.
Yeah.
I've watched parts of it. Like the beginning of season. I think
That
I have season 1.
Writer that he based Jason Schwartzman on does a really good graphic novel called The Alcoholic. It's very good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Very good. I have it. You can borrow it. Very good.
And it's a comic?
It's a graphic novel. Yeah.
Nice.
Very good though. The show is great though. I mean, I love Zach Galifianakis in it, and I love Zach Galifianakis and Ted Danson's chemistry in it together.
Right.
Because they're two very different characters, and they finally cross paths in the show, and it becomes great. Bored to Death was a good show. A shame, again, 3 seasons.
Well, was that with HBO?
It was, yeah.
I should just watch it. It's on there.
It was good. Good stuff. All right.
Great show.
That was it.
That's it. Goodbye. We don't need that. Kidding. All right.
And just another. Thanks for listening to the show. Follow us on Twitter at Derek on TSPN, at TSPN Media.
That's right.
And Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those things. iHeartRadio, Spotify.
Yeah. I mean, if there's one that you hold priority over the other, go to one of those.
Yep.
Find us there. Give us a review or give us a heart or give us stars or do whatever it is. Whatever it takes over there. Tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
It's we've been gone a while.
We've been gone a while.
It's good
But
to
we're
be
back now, baby. Next week was
Rick's
Rick should
coming
be back.
next week. He'll intro the show, and then we're actually back for 2 more weeks, and off for 1 again, and then back again.
Yep.
And
Thanks,
then
everybody.
on again.
Have a great weekend.
Yep. Summer.